Hi, this is Dr. Ernesto, and in today's video we're going to give you 8 tips to build your finances and your credit as a new immigrant to the United States of America. But first you got to understand how our economy works. First off, our economy is the biggest and the baddest in the world. And our economy is 70% consumption, which means people buy stuff, cars, houses, Coca-Cola, whatever. And it depends on people having cheap money and lots of credit. That's why it's probably the easiest place in the world to get credit and to get loans to buy things, okay? Now it's gonna be up to you how you spend that money. You can waste it on toys, and t-shirts, and going to the movies, or you can buy assets that are gonna be growing in wealth and building your wealth, like real estate, investments in stocks, bonds, stuff like that. And remember, 90% of millionaires in the United States are made in real estate. So you want to try to build up your credit so eventually you can buy real estate if your goal is to get wealthy in the United States of America. The first step you're going to do is you're going to apply for an ITIN. If you come in here starting off with the Social Security number, then you're in great shape. You can use your social. But if you don't have a social, you're illegal, you jumped the border, whatever the case is, you overstayed your visa, then you want to apply to the IRS for an ITIN. Now a lot of people are scared. They say, Doc, if I get an ITIN, the immigration's gonna come looking for me. They're not gonna do that, okay? Immigration is different from the IRS. They're different departments. They're not related, okay? So they're not gonna come looking for you just because you apply for one. In fact, getting an ITIN will help you later on when you go to your immigration case, in case you're trying to get citizenship later on. You're gonna need it so you can show that you've been living in the country and that you've been paying your taxes. Those are both fundamental to applying for citizenship in the United States. I know because I've helped people get their papers. A lot of my workers have helped me. That's one of the things that the courts ask for. Have you been paying your taxes? Have you been a good citizen? Do you have any police records? If you have police records, you're toast. So be cool. Don't get in any trouble. So an ITIN is going to allow you to help you with your immigration status. It's going to allow you to apply for credit cards, open bank accounts, and again, file a tax return every year. So you want to start with getting an ITIN. Tip number 2, download an app called Credit Karma to your telephone. That's basically an app you can use to apply for credit cards. Get that ITIN you got from the IRS and apply for a credit card. And the more you apply for stuff, every month apply for 2-3 credit cards. Even if you get denied, it's okay. Just make sure you're consistent with the information. Use the same name, don't change your name, and use the same address. And you're going to appear on our credit system, which is all over the United States. Most citizens are in this credit system. They're called credit bureaus. And if you apply to it, it records you. So then you start coming up on the radar. So when other people research you, you'll actually show up. So if you want to apply for an apartment or to buy a car or something like that, you're going to have credit. If you don't apply for credit cards or try to build your credit, you're not going to have any. You're not going to show up, even if you have an ITIN. So it's going to be hard to rent an apartment, buy a car, get loans, do anything. You're going to be stuck in a second class or second tier system in the United States, which is oftentimes where immigrants end up because they don't try to build up their financial life. And again, you're not going to get in trouble. The IRS is not related to the immigration. So just because you get an ITIN doesn't mean immigration is going to come looking for you. Tip number 3, open a bank account. Start saving money, start using it to make payments. It helps build your credit history and it shows you're responsible to have a good banking history. Not all banks do it, but some banks do. So you just got to find a bank that will accept an ITIN and open a bank account. Tip number 4, get a secured credit card. These are what people use when they have bad credit or no credit. Basically what it is, they have low credit limits, like $500, even like $200. You send the bank $500 and then they give you $500 credit on the credit cards. You can use it to buy stuff and every month you have to pay. But they hold the 500 or the 200 or the 1,000 or whatever you paid as collateral in case you don't pay or you try to disappear. That's good because then it shows that you're building again your credit history. To build credit, you basically have to take on debts. Doesn't mean you can't pay them off every month and have it interest free. That you can do. but you have to take on debts to show that you're responsible, that you're willing to make payments on debts and you're a good citizen. So that's what they want to see, banking history. Tip number 5, take out a credit builder loan. You can go to credit unions or some banks and they're called credit builder loans. It's almost like a credit card, but it's actually like a really low amount, like $500 or $1,000. The banks are trying to get new customers. So they'll lend you the $500 and then you just make monthly payments on it, whatever. Sure, you are going to pay some interest on it, but again, you need to go through this. You can build your credit. So you're going to pay some dollars, but in the end, it might end up making you millions of dollars. Tip number 6, become an authorized user. Now, I go into detail about this in my credit book, and this is one of my favorite strategies. Have one of your friends or family members that has real credit and credit cards, have them add you onto their credit card. What it's going to do, it's going to transfer their credit history onto yours. For example, I have a credit card I've had for like 30 years. So I've added family members or friends onto it. It transfers my 30-year history onto them. So when someone looks up their credit, they say, wow, you've had a credit card for 30 years and you paid it on time and has a $50,000 limit. We're going to approve you for everything. So that's a really easy way to do it. It's called credit card piggybacking, and you're going to be an authorized user on their account. Tip number 7, sign up for a rent reporting service. So if you rent an apartment or a room somewhere or whatever, ask the person you're renting with if you can pay part of the rent directly to the owner, and ask the owner to report your payments to a rent reporting system, a service. Basically, they're going to post that in your credit to show that, hey, this person's responsible, they pay their rent on time, they pay it in full. That's another way to get something recorded on your credit history. Tip number 8, open some accounts in your name. So if you live somewhere, you're going to need electricity or water or gas or trash or sewage. Sign up for the utilities and put them in your name. They'll let you put in your name with an ITIN. That's going to get recorded on your credit history. Some utilities will report it, some won't. But just sign up for them. You're paying it anyway, so just put it under your name. Sign up for other things that you might use. Don't get stuff you don't need, but you sign up for Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever, some type of service, that's going to get reported on your credit also sometimes. So try to sign up for some of these accounts, these services, and make sure you're making timely payments. Now again, if you do this stuff, it's going to build a history of your credit, and that's going to allow you later on down the line when you decide, oh, I want to buy a house, I want to buy a car or something. It's going to really help you out. Like, a lot of people come here, they're already 30, 40, 50 years old, 25 years old. The rest of the people that are here that are citizens like myself, we have a head start on you. I started building my credit when I was like 17, because I started getting credit cards. So you need to catch up. You need to build up those years of credit. The fastest way to do it is to start with these 8 strategies. Thank you for watching. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and like our video. Thank you. Goodbye.